Good evening, Year 11s. This is your night before news for your RE Paper 2 coming up tomorrow, Friday the 24th in the morning. So you did Paper 1 at the beginning of last week, which was your study of religion, so Islam and Christianity, and then this is your themes paper. So you're going to be doing just one booklet this time, and in your booklet there is going to be coming up Theme B, Religion and Life, and you're going to do for Theme B a 1, 2, 4, 5 and 12 marker. And then you're going to have Theme C, Existence of God and Revelation, and again there's going to be a 1, 2, 4, 5 and 12 marker. You've then got Theme E, Religion, Crime and Punishment, which we finished off at the beginning of this term, and again a 1, 2, 4, 5 and 12 marker. And then because Theme F we're going to be doing a little bit later this year, you're then going to have, instead of a Theme F, a combination of Themes B, C and E. So you'll have a couple of questions from Theme B, a couple of questions from Theme C, and then your 12 marker will be from Theme E. You've got 1 hour 45, so same as Paper 1, so you should spend roughly about 25 minutes per section. And so if after 25 minutes you're not done with your first section, you need to be thinking about moving on to the next one. And these are the rough topics that are going to be coming up in your exam, which are on Arbor. And so my encouragement would be, is if you're still looking to do some revision this evening or tomorrow morning, it would be to think, actually, are there any topics there that I'm just really still not sure on? And in which case, go through them, do some revision postcards, that kind of thing. If you are feeling confident on all of them, then think, can I explain why they're important? Can I explain some religious scripture for them, for example? This is what the paper looks like. So you've got Theme B as an example, and then you've got the 1, 2, 4, 5 and 12 markers. You answer all of the questions instead of like onto the lines like with Paper 1, you answer them straight into just an answer booklet. So you just need to make sure that you're really clear with putting 02.1 or whatever the answer to the question is, so that you can then go through the paper. And then of course they all start with a 1 and 2 marker. Sometimes students will answer the questions, particularly for 1 and 2, straight onto the answer booklet like this one. Don't do that. Make sure that you write the answers into your booklet with the lined paper. So just put 02.1 and then A, B, C or D. Obviously this is not the question. This is not your mock paper. This is an example. And then 02.2, again, just 2 quick bullet points, 2 rough ideas. You don't need to explain them all at all. So this one says 2 ways religious believers can help to protect the world's natural resources. You could say recycling and driving an electric car, and then that's 2 marks. Nice and simple. You've then got your 4 and 5 markers, and again you're following the structure: point, develop, and then with your 5 marker you're looking to refer to a source of religious belief. Key thing to remember with your 4 marker is that it will often say you should refer to the main religious tradition of Great Britain and 1 or more other religious traditions. Now what that means is that you need to include a Christian perspective in your answer. If you don't mention Christianity in your answer, you're capped at 2 marks. It is also more than okay to talk about Christianity twice, and that's probably what most of you will do for the answers, because Christianity is the religion that we've studied most. So for example with this one, 2 contrasting religious beliefs in contemporary British society about euthanasia. Contrasting means they need to be different, so then one of your points would be saying a Christian might believe this because, and then a Christian might believe this because. But you can also talk about Islam and say what a Muslim would believe too. And then, as I said, in the 5 marker, make sure you've got a quote then. Again, make sure it's as accurate as possible. Make sure that you said whether it's from the Bible, whether it's from the Quran. And again, even though you don't have to refer to Christianity specifically, I would put in your answer, what religion are you talking about? So start off your sentences. A Christian would argue that the natural resources, etc. And then a Muslim would argue, or another Christian perspective would be. So make sure that you're using the language of the religion which you are talking about. You've then got your 12 markers. So you'll attempt 4 12 markers over the course of the questions. It's really important that even if there's a question that you are not sure on, what you should do is still just go your 3 basic paragraphs, so 4 against conclusion. Even if you can't think of how you might make big, long, extended arguments, how you might criticize, etc., just get those points down, because actually you can very easily get 4, 5, 6 marks just from putting, so for example in this one, the Big Bang and religious teachings can work together because, here are my reasons, opposition view, here are my reasons, conclusion, this is the strongest argument, and you can very easily pick up some marks just by saying simple things. So definitely don't leave it blank. and give it a real go, which actually we did a really good job of on paper 1, just giving the questions a go. With this one again, make sure that you say who you're talking about. So although it says refer to religious teachings, well, tell me, are you talking about Christians? Are you talking about Muslims? Even better if you can talk about which specific group of Christians, but generally you're just going to say some Christians would argue this, other Christians may argue this, and so make sure that you are referring to a specific religion. Don't be vague, tell me the religion you're talking about. The other thing with this, as I said in our lesson on Wednesday, is that the best answers from your paper 1 papers are the ones where students are referring back to the statement. Okay, so make sure that you aren't just being vague. So if you've got a question like this, for example, about creation and the Big Bang, don't just say here's a fundamentalist perspective, here's a liberal perspective, but actually use the wording of the quote throughout. So say it's possible to believe in both the Big Bang theory and religious teachings because if your question is about euthanasia, then you'd say Christians might support the legalization of euthanasia because, etc. So make sure you're just constantly, perhaps 2 or 3 times every paragraph, just going back and using the wording of the question in your answer. 2 reasons for this. One is it makes sure that you don't just go off on one, talking about something and just doing a whole lot of waffle about the topic in general, but then also it really strongly makes your argument, because what you're saying is here's another reason why this perspective would be made. And of course, to get that 10, 11, 12 marks out of 12, you need to be including evaluation. So making sure at the end of your paragraphs, you're saying things like a weakness of this view is, or a strength of this view is, or this view might be criticized by an atheist who would say something like that. In general, in your paper 1, conclusions were really, really strong as well. So a conclusion at the end saying the most convincing argument is this, and here are my 2, 3 reasons why I think that. Even better if you can say, well, actually, even though the opposite view says this, I think the strongest argument is this because. So that is all the advice that I have to give you. In fact, no, it's not. I've gone too early. I've got a couple more bits. So remember, key things, watch your timings, make sure that you're not taking too long on questions, make sure you leave enough time for your 12 markers, 25 minutes per section. Always name your religion, as I said, so a Christian belief about blank is, or Muslims believe, name the religion you're talking about. Don't just say a religious belief about this is. Include where your quotes or teachings are from, so almost always that's going to be from the Bible or the Quran. Give absolutely everything a go. Don't leave any questions unanswered. Even if you're not 100% sure, give it a go. Also, for the 4 and 5 markers, always put 2 views. Don't just put 1 view and then say, I can't think of another one. Add a second one as long as you've got time. And again, in 12-mark questions, link your arguments back to the wording of the question to make it clear that you're answering the question itself. Apart from that, I'll see you in the morning to go through some questions before the exam starts, and I hope the rest of your evening goes very well.